It's official. Nikola Jokic has won his third MVP in the last 4 seasons, and this puts him in literally GOAT territory. There are only a few players that have ever won 3 MVPs in NBA history, and Nikola Jokic's name is edged right next to them. We're going to talk about the historical significance of this season, why he won MVP, what this means for his legacy, and how he continues to add into it going forward. This is Swiper at Locked On Nuggets.
You are Locked On Nuggets, your daily Denver Nuggets podcast. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
What's going on, y'all? This is Swiper at Locked On Nuggets, your team every day. So glad to be here with you today. Shout out to everybody that's already here. Shout out to everybody that's going to listen to this after it's been recorded. The Denver Nuggets in the middle of the second round of the playoffs, and we found last night on TNT that Nikola Jokic wins his third MVP in the last 4 seasons. And I got to tell you, I never saw this happening, never saw this coming. You know, we all saw Nikola Jokic enter the NBA during the 2014 draft and play his first season in 2015. And you saw immediately his rookie year that there was something special. Gave Tim Duncan a 20-point double-double, gave 40-plus points to the New York Knicks when Kristaps Porzingis was there. And then slowly but surely, every single year, it got up and up from there. He got better, and he got better, and he committed himself to playing the right way, doing the right things, mastering his technique, mastering his position. And now Nikola Jokic, man, has put himself in an echelon that is just going to be full of a bunch of all-time greats, and he has more legacy that he can add to it. I mean, really, just give a shout out to him, man. He really has made himself into a generationally great player. You know, I think Nikola Jokic, you know, there's so much you can get into in the now, but just from somebody that was drafted 41 overall and to come from Sombor, Serbia, to represent his country well, to represent his family well, to represent his city in Denver, Colorado, and to represent all the millions of people who love and support him as a basketball player in person. It is just an incredible honor to be able to watch and cover this team and have engaged with him and interacted with him in a small part. And obviously, Matt and Adam have been around him for years. And I think you don't get these opportunities often as a fan. You know, you all get a chance to watch him on a daily basis. You all get a chance to interact with his highlights and with his games. And you've had a chance to see him for a number of years now. And, you know, you get to know somebody from afar. And I think there's just a lot of energy that people have poured into Joker, that have poured into Jamal Murray, poured into the team since it was kind of formed in the Michael Malone era. And a lot of y'all have been around, some as long as me, since the 1990s, some even before, where you've had an opportunity to watch this Denver Nuggets franchise go from being obscure to having won nothing to being put in a situation where they're a playoff team every year under the Carmelo Anthony era. And then getting into Brian Shaw era, things not going well, getting Emmanuel Mudiay at 7 overall in the 2015 NBA draft, and then thinking that was going to pan out, and then it ends up not working out. And then the very next year, they get the 7th pick with Jamal Murray in 2016, the last part of the Carmelo Anthony deal, Denver. And it is just incredible. And I think one of the best things about Nikola Jokic winning this MVP award is just how much pride the city has in him, how much pride his country has in him, and how much pride people that associate with the Nuggets have. You know, because Jokic, again, he's a part of the story of the fabric of the NBA now. You know, when you win 3 MVPs, you're putting yourself in a tier with players that arguably, again, are all considered the best players of all time. And, you know, you love to see Joker of all people getting this honor because, you know, Joker has honestly tried to do the right thing by his team, by his family. And for him to be in a situation, man, it's really just incredible. And now Nikola Jokic winning this MVP. Here are the names. Here are the names of the players that have won 3 or more MVPs in NBA history. I'll try to get this in order, by the way, in terms of when it happened. Nikola Jokic, 3-time MVP winner. LeBron James, 3+ time MVP winner. He's won 4 overall, 2009, 10, 12, and 13. Michael Jordan, 5 MVPs over the course of his career. Magic Johnson, 3 MVPs over the course of his career. Larry Bird, I think 3 MVPs over the course of his career. And then you got Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, I want to say 5 MVPs over the course of his career. And then you got Moses Malone in the 1980s as well. He had 3 MVPs in the 80s as well as a championship. And then you had Bill Russell and Wilt Chamberlain. Think about that. Nikola Jokic is now in the same class of players as LeBron James, Michael Jordan, Magic Johnson, Larry Bird, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, Moses Malone, Bill Russell, and Wilt Chamberlain. Yeah, Kareem at 6. It's like 5 titles, 6, and 6 MVPs. So some of this is like you can't write the story better. You can't write the story better that there's a player that's been able to put this body of work together to get to these kind of heights. And if you just like look at what he's been able to accomplish and do, Nikola Jokic, since the 2020-21 season, the 4-year run that he's been on, he's finished number 1 in MVP voting 3 times. He's finished number 2 in MVP voting 1 time. I believe Nikola Jokic is the first player to win either an regular season MVP or a finals MVP in 4 consecutive seasons in NBA history. Jokic, since he started winning MVPs, had averaged 26.1 points a game, 12.2 rebounds a game, regular season, 8.7 assists per game, and 294 games played. 294 games played in 4 years, shooting 59% from the field, 36% from 3, and 83% from the line. And Jokic is a plus 2,150, meaning the Denver Nuggets have won the plus minus when he's been on the court by 2,150 points. They've been 2,150 points better. 2,150 points better than their opponent when he has played over the last 4 years. Again, indomitable. You're just not going to find runs like that. Nikola Jokic shattered all of the advanced analytics, box plus minus, PER, had a great EPM year 2 years ago. The win shares for 48, win shares, VORP, all that stuff. But everything, even just the raw data, a 26, 12, and 9. And then on the other end, the advanced data plus the winning. In the 4-year run, Jokic has finished as the 3 seed, the 6 seed, the 1 seed, and now tied for the 1st seed with the 2 seed. So it's equated to winning. It's equated to winning. So I'm really, really happy to see why a lot of people think that he's the best player of his generation, and then you're getting awarded for it. And, you know, despite, like, it's really easy to get caught up in, like, in momentary stuff and playoff series and everything. Like, I get all that. But, again, man, like, for me personally, this means a lot because it's like you just don't see these kind of players just be built to be born out of nowhere, and then like they kind of get ideated into the NBA. You know, for instance, we're all projecting that Victor Wembanyama is going to be a multi-time MVP winner. He might very well win 3 to 6. He could. He may. But everything kind of has to shape out. Like, you have to play at that level. Your team has to win, and you got to be able to overcome a lot of great players that also exist in your era. I mean, Giannis could very well have 3 by this point. Embiid could have 2 or 3 by this point. Steph Curry has 2, played in the LeBron era. LeBron has 4. LeBron very easily, in my mind, could have had 5. Jordan could have had more MVPs as well. Like, there's a lot that goes into who wins MVP, this, and that. So, again, that's an incredible accomplishment all the way around. And obviously, shout out to Nikola Jokic for being able to put together the season that he did to earn the MVP and to earn his status among all-time greats in NBA history. Again, just puts a different conversation altogether. And again, I know that, like, you know, SGA was very deserving. Luka Doncic, very deserving. Jalen Brunson, Jason Tatum, Joel Embiid, had he played more games, would have been in the conversation. Obviously, again, Giannis, they're all very deserving arguments. Domantas Sabonis, regular season, I think he finished like top 8, top 7. They all had great arguments for the MVP award. But obviously, one had to win it, and I think Jokic had the best overall season of anybody. So, just congratulations to Nikola Jokic. On the other side, I want to talk about some comments that were made on TNT yesterday, and just what they actually meant for the moment, but also why does the media exist? Like, what is our job? Like, why are these moments? Why are MVPs, championships, all defensive team, DPOYs? Why did that stuff matter, actually? And they're going to talk about all that and more next here on Locked On Nuggets. Y'all, wouldn't it be great if you could see all your investments and retirement accounts in one place? With Yahoo Finance, you can consolidate your views from multiple accounts into one hub and access the expert analysis you need to tend to your entire portfolio. Even again, having an investing account with Schwab and a 401k with Fidelity, whatever. Like, I've been using Yahoo Finance to consolidate them in one place, which has made it incredibly easy to manage. So let's get straight to the point. You want to grow your portfolio and deal with the rising cost of inflation to pay off your debt or your mortgage, pretty much anything standing in the way of you and financial freedom, right? With Yahoo Finance, you can get access to the news, data, and tools you need in order to reach that financial freedom. When it comes to your financial future, you think you've done it all. You've saved, you've researched, you've invested all that you can. Now you can take those investments to the next level by using what every great financial great uses, Yahoo Finance. For more than 25 years, Yahoo Finance has been the brand behind every great investor. Whether you're a seasoned investor or are looking for extra guidance, Yahoo Finance gives you all the tools and data you need in one place. They're the number one finance destination, producing a holistic look at the financial news cycle, including breaking news, original editorial perspectives, analyst ratings, independent research, customizable charts, and so much more. Securely link your brokerage accounts for a unified view of your wealth, including 401k and other investments. A comprehensive perspective is what sets apart great investors. And it's how Yahoo Finance ensures you have the insight at your wealth in its entirety. So, with a community of over 80 million users each month, the real strength is helping you on your way to financial success. For comprehensive financial reviews and analysts, visit the brand behind every great investor, yahoofinance.com, the number one financial destination, yahoofinance.com. That's yahoofinance.com. Y'all, we'll be right back here at Locked On Nuggets. What's going on, y'all? Welcome back to Locked On Nuggets. This is your host, Swiper, your team every day. Shout out to y'all. Make sure if you give us a 5-star review so more and more people can tap into what we're doing here at Locked On Nuggets. If you are watching this on YouTube, make sure you like, share, and subscribe, and tell your people where you like watching and listening to some of your favorite NBA and Denver Nuggets content on the internet. Y'all, let's talk about what happened on TNT yesterday. So, as many of you, I turned on the MVP ceremony, as you would call it. And I said, you know what? I want to see what do they have to say about Nikola Jokic winning this MVP award. And Nikola Jokic, by the way, if you look at the total voting, Jokic earned 79 first-place votes. 79 first-place votes and 18 second-place votes in this cycle. 79 and 18. And then he earned 2 third-place votes as well. Very interesting. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander had 15 first-place votes. Luka Doncic had 4 first-place votes. Shai had 40 second-place votes. And then Luka had 36 second-place votes. So Luka, distant third. And then Shai also was second. So Shaquille O'Neal yesterday had the honor, after I think Charles Barkley opened up the envelope, to say that Nikola Jokic had won his MVP. Denver Nuggets, Nikola Jokic, 3-time MVP winner. Shaquille O'Neal then, instead of, in the moment, focusing on the fact that Nikola Jokic is now won his 3rd MVP, between Jokic and Embiid, there have now been 4 MVP winners since Shaquille O'Neal in the year 2000, which is huge, considering the center position was considered all but gone until these two brought it back to life. And, we're in a situation now where Jokic is entering like, you got 3 MVPs. That's the most since LeBron. Like, that's literally the most anyone's won since LeBron James. And instead of that, Shaquille O'Neal then made that moment and said, hey, no disrespect to Joker, this, and that. I think Shai Gilgeous-Alexander should have won the MVP award because he had the stat stuffing that made his argument cement. He felt like because Shai earned the number 1 seed, they had the best record in the West, even though the Nuggets had tied with them for the best record in the West at 57 wins, that Shai Gilgeous-Alexander having 50 30-point games, which was his only basketball argument, said that's why he should win the MVP award. So then in my brain, I'm like, well, I mean, there's plenty of great argument for Shai, but to say that the reason you're giving him the award is because of stat stuffing when Nikola Jokic just averaged 26, 12, and 9 in this last season, that just didn't make a lot of sense to me. And then on top of that, Joker did this without Jamal Murray for 23 games. But the way that Shaq presented it was that Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, similar to himself, was robbed of an MVP, basically. Shai's going to have to wait all the way again until next year at the end of next season to get his MVP that he earned, and he may feel like he's owed. And then on the other end of this, he mentions that Shaq, was robbed of MVPs in the 2000s, so therefore he always feels a way when he feels like people don't get their just due. And my whole thing is just like, yo, like, was that energy the same last year with Jokic and Embiid? Jokic finished as the number 1 seed. They were on the way to going to the championship. But even that, Shaq turned that whole moment. And again, the Nuggets have a clip of Jokic hearing the announcement on television from Charles Barkley. And then also on the other end of that, I think he was still in the room and listening when Shaquille O'Neal went on that tirade. And Ernie Johnson kind of had to bring him off of a ledge and say, like, yo, like, Shaq, like, he's well deserving of an MVP award. Like, he's earned it. He did everything he was supposed to do. He has the stats, everything. But Shaquille O'Neal literally made that moment about himself. And I just thought that the NBA is in such a precarious position. Because when Patrick Mahomes, if he wins his 3rd MVP next year, like, you're not going to see Tom Brady or Peyton Manning or Drew Brees calling up as the old heads, the former generation, to say, Patrick Mahomes, I have 5 and Peyton, but I should have had more. I had 3 or I had 1. I'm Drew Brees. I'm Tom Brady. I should have had more. They're not going to do that. Why would they do that? Like, the point is to celebrate the next generation and to celebrate what's happening now and to celebrate that the league is evolving and it's changing. It's more talented, more skilled. There are players that are moving up the board that are going to just further cement your legacy as Shaquille O'Neal. Like Jokic paying an ode to Shaquille O'Neal, Patrick Mahomes paying an ode to Peyton Manning. Like, they emulated some of what they do after their games. They respect their games. And you couldn't even go to a point where you could just simply celebrate it. And I just did not understand it. When and I said this on Twitter, when Victor Wembanyama wins his MVP award, or Anthony Edwards, if he wins the MVP award, or Finals MVP this year, or whoever, if these youngins come up and they win the MVP, why in the world would I spend any of my time saying anything else other than congratulations, you did great at what you did? And I think some of this is you just want to make sure you're not making moments too much about yourself. Even when Embiid won last year, I don't think he should have won. I think everybody saw by the end of the playoff run that Jokic was obviously the best player in the world. He obviously should have won, but there was so much bias against him because of the March 23 nonsense and because of what happened a year previously in the playoffs. And then but even when Embiid won, like, he was the first African-born MVP since Hakeem Olajuwon. That's huge. He had one of the greatest regular seasons you've seen in recent memory. Like, you could at least say, like, that player was incredible. That player has earned his place. And I just think it was just such a bad look for the NBA because our job as the media members in this position, Locked On Nuggets, Swiper, Matt Moore, Adam, we're here to storytell. This is about the players, the coaches, the people that are in the building that are making everything happen on a day-by-day basis. This is about them, and this is about the fans. My job is to act as an intermediary. I see what's happening. I witness what's happening. I research. I learn. I have my computers in front of me. I have data in front of me. I have information in front of me. I got game plays in front of me. I got calls in front of me, moments in the game, timeouts, basket scenarios, some of the defenses that were played in scenarios. I have all this available in front of me, because I want to make sure that I'm prepared to speak to you, because my job is to help interpret what's happening on the court and then tell it back to you as the listener. And you participate by talking to me, by DMing me, by telling me what you think. And this is a community. But to think that somehow I would make this about me is crazy. To think that I would take my position as a media member when a player is winning the most important individual award in the NBA, and to make it about me and what I feel like I was cheated out of. I just could not understand that. But y'all, on the other side, we're going to talk about a little bit about what's at stake going forward, what's at stake right now. Jokic has a lot in front of him that he could take care of and accomplish, but there's some more winning and stuff that needs to happen before then. But I do expect that they're going to be able to make a lot more runs in the future. But we'll be right back for more of that here at Locked On Nuggets. Y'all, all right, game off. We got to pause here to talk more about Monopoly Go. I know what you're saying. Flag on the play. You already talked about that, but there is so much good stuff in this game. In Monopoly Go, you can team up a friend for time tournaments where you can work together to build up each other's boards. The more you win together, the more awesome prizes you unlock. And there's so much to get. Unique stickers you can trade with, friends to complete, album for big prizes, cool new play pieces to travel to boards with, hilarious emojis for taunting friends when you smash their buildings or heist their vaults. Plus, Monopoly Go feels new and exciting every day with constantly changing tournaments and challenges. A ton include their own unique mini games like digging for treasure or robot pachinko machine. There's always something new. There's new timed events to help you win big, like massive multipliers for everything you win or rent frenzies. There's always something fun to discover in Monopoly Go, so get off the bench and go download it free on Google Play or the App Store. Game on. We'll be right back for more here at Locked On Nuggets. Y'all, we are back here for Locked On Nuggets, final segment here. This is your boy Swiper. Y'all, I'm so excited about the Denver Nuggets getting an opportunity to be in this situation. Nikola Jokic winning his third MVP. And look, there's some business to take care of for sure. The Nuggets are currently down 0-2. The Nuggets are currently down 0-2 to Anthony Edwards and Rudy Gobert, who was there for game one, Naz Reid, Jaden McDaniels, Mike Conley, Karl Anthony Towns, Chris Finch. Really good squad, elite defense. And the Nuggets are down 0-2. And so this is going to be a great moment, man, because Nikola Jokic, the whispers are already out there. The whispers are already out there. Jokic, you win your third MVP. How are you going to respond? What are you going to do? Your team is in a hole. Your team has to deal with some adversity. They're in a situation where if they go down 0-3, it's over. You got to show up. And I think game 3, man, the Nuggets got to come out swinging. And again, I think the Jokic legacy question, where does Jokic rank all time? A lot of that's going to be told by the end of this year. Now, Jokic, for me, I think last year when I put the rankings together, I believe I had him at 19th greatest player of all time coming into this season. But now with another all-time great offensive season, another MVP, another great peak, even in the playoff this year, for as up and down as people have felt like he's been playing, Nikola Jokic this playoffs is averaging 27 points per game, 15 rebounds, and 9.4 assists on 63.4% true shooting. Again, unheard of numbers. But Joker's going to have to do even better. Like he has to. Joker last 2 games that he's played in this playoffs, he's averaging 24 points a game, 12 rebounds, and 8.5 assists. But he's shooting 42% from the field, 20% from 3. Jokic at 100% from the free throw line, though. So that's helping. But you're going to have to get some really special performances out of Jamal Murray, who's averaging 12.5 points per game in the series, out of Nikola Jokic, out of Aaron Gordon, out of Michael Porter Jr., KCP, Christian Brown, Peyton Watson, Justin Holiday, Reggie Jackson. They're all going to have to play. They lost their composure in game 1. In game 1 in the first quarter, Jamal Murray gets run over by Karl Anthony Towns, no call. KCP contests. Anthony Edwards at the rim, gets hits in the lower section, no call. And so Michael Malone calls a timeout and sprints onto the court and just absolutely let Mark Davis have it. And Mark very professionally does not call a T, because I think some of this knew, he should have had a foul call in there, but also didn't want to throw out the head coach of the NBA champions. So the Nuggets are going to have to play smarter. They're going to have to play more physical. They're going to have to be more aggressive. They're going to have to be more decisive with the ball. And their defense needs to pick it up and improve. And Jokic's defense has to pick it up and improve. I don't know what happened, but after they got done with that 23-5 break that they went on post All-Star break, I want to say I think they were 23-5. Some of this is they're just going to have to embody what they were prior to this playoff starting. And again, Matt Moore talked about this. He thinks they kind of spent it a little bit when they gunned for the 1 seed to close out the season. But right now, man, the Nuggets are just not looking like a team that is like dialed up and dialed in. So some of this is you're going to need to have some really good performances from your 4 best players, MPJ, AG, Jokic, Murray. And you're also going to have to tie in defensively. And right now, they just look like the team that's getting dominated physically. They're not playing aggressive as the point of attack. They're in a situation now where, you're down 0-2 and the other team is going to be just absolutely flying around. Like the Wolves are going to try to make every single possession there. They're going to try to dominate the basketball. And every time you have the basketball, they're going to try to dribble up full court. And so Aaron Gordon, Nikola Jokic, be ready. Be ready. Karl Anthony Towns is going to be stacked. It's going to be helping off of, not helping, but he's going to be guarded on Nikola Jokic. Rudy Gobert is going to be playing weak side help defender. You know what's coming. Anthony Edwards or Jaden McDaniels is going to start off on Jamal Murray, maybe Anthony Edwards. And then the other end of this, you're going to have Jaden McDaniels on MPJ. So it's going to require greatness. It's going to require greatness. And I think a lot of this is they just need to continue to trust their process and trust the physicality they play with and trust the idea that they will be able to find ways to dial in to who they are and who they're supposed to be and how they play. And it starts at the top. It starts with Malone, starts with Nikola Jokic. Like, you have to set the tone from moment one. Defensively set the tone. Defensively set the tone. Means movement, moving your feet, heavy, active hands everywhere, rotating, backside rotation. If Anthony Edwards comes up in a pick and roll, play up, hedge. They dump it off to Rudy Gobert. Everybody roll where they're supposed to roll. If they dump it off to the side, hey, Jokic, you got to show, hedge, and then you got to recover and sprint back. Close out possessions, rebound the ball. Michael Porter Jr., Aaron Gordon, Nikola Jokic, Jamal Murray, go rebound the basketball, secure the possession. And then coming down on the other end of the court, if you get them into a double drag situation because you're trying to get Mike Conley on you, well, look, play it up towards half court. And then if they're going to try to double and blitz at the top, that way Mike doesn't get single coverage, hey, pass it out on the dive, pass it out to the player that kind of flares out at the top of the and get the ball in rotation. Attack. Set the tone. And the Timberwolves, they're going to battle, and that's what makes them so good. But I think the difference is the Nuggets have, in the regular season, found some success versus it. But for whatever reason, in this playoffs, they've just not hit that peak that they have to hit to beat the Wolves. And I said this. I think the Minnesota Timberwolves give the Denver Nuggets the most issues in the NBA of any team. And so this is just going to be what the series demands. The series is going to demand greatness. Okay? It's going to demand greatness. It's going to demand that you show up. It's going to demand that you do what you have to do in order to get the job done. And there is no ifs, ands, or buts. That's just the way it works. But again, it starts at the top. Nikola Jokic, 24, 12, and 9 this series. 13 shots in game 2. Not good enough. Jokic, like you did in 2022 versus the Warriors. First 2 games, 24, 10, and 6. Under 50% from the field. Next games, 3 games, 35, 15, and 6 on 73% true shooting. It's just time. It's time to get it done. And I think Jokic knows what the moment is called for. I think Jamal Murray, you just got to have a better shooting game. Even if you're off ball, your off ball makes have to convert. Porter, off ball makes have to convert. KCP, off ball makes have to convert. And they can do it And then when the bench comes in with Christian Brown, Peyton Watson, Justin Holiday, Reggie Jackson, know your role, buy into what you're supposed to do, lock in defensively, and hunt to the rim. But y'all, that's going to do it here for Locked On Nuggets. Nikola Jokic, 3-time MVP award winner. The Nuggets getting ready to take on the Minnesota Timberwolves in Game 3 tomorrow. I will be back with you tomorrow with Matt Moore and myself. Y'all know what time it is. See y'all on the other side.